Hi, Miss Chamberlain. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Would you like me to refer to you as Miss Chamberlain or Fendi? How would you like to be addressed?
Fendi is fine.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right. So, how are you today? Anything new? Anything on your chest before we get into it? Anything like that? Oh, let me first introduce myself. I'm rude. I'm Eris Crutchfield. I am going to be your social worker for this duration of time that we have on today and for our next session. Quick little information about you. I'm just jumping into your business. I have been practicing social work for the last 5 years. I have attained my undergraduate and master's degree from the social work program of Virginia State University. I am a life coach, but I specialize with women, um, all age ranges, all races, socioeconomic classes, you name it. I'm here for y'all. I feel like it's my purpose. I feel like it was what I was put here to do. So yeah. I don't have any children though. I am married. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I have no questions for you.
All right, all right. So before we get into anything, I just want to go ahead and go over our confidentiality. Um, while we are speaking and going over everything and resolving things in your life, we do have a confidentiality policy. Now, everything we discuss is going to stay strictly between you and I, unless you talk about harming yourself or others. Do you understand? Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. So, yes, like I was saying before I started to get in your business, but I told you some of mine. Where are you from? Like, tell me about yourself. Let me get to know Fendi. What makes you you?
Awesome. My name is Fendi Chamber. I'm from Charles City, Virginia. I am 22 years old. I recently came to Virginia State to be in the social work program. Um, yeah, so that's
Okay.
me. I'm a junior here, and I've been experiencing some struggles while in this program and after school with life. Um, you know, coming to adulthood is a lot.
Okay. 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 Well, I would just like to point out that if no one is, I'm proud of you for, sticking it out in college. I know that social work and that program there. Kudos, fellow Trojan. That it's not easy. It's not easy, and you emerging in that early adulthood stage where it's like you're not a adolescent anymore, but you're new in adulthood. So it's right now you're in a tricky time of life. You're in a very tricky time of your life, but I would just like to say, before going forward, keep pushing, keep striving, keep being positive, keep prioritizing your life, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't fall into the trap of, you can throw your 20s away. Definitely work hard, but definitely play just as hard as well. I feel like our 20s is a time where, balance is really essential. So, cool, 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 cool. Okay, okay. So, that was the entire, introduction phase. I just want to, make you aware as we move on to different steps and phases as we will practice while, we're talking with you and everything like that. So let's go into the exploring stage. I'm sorry. So as I look into your file and I look into some things that, I'm saying, you have been going through and have concerns about, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, can we talk about a couple of things? Let's start with your relationship
Okay.
or former relationship or whatever.
So my former relationship is very toxic. It is not it's toxic. It's It's not really for me. I've been trying to stick it through just so that I will be able to stay afloat with my finances in school. I do live alone in my apartment, so I've been running through to some finances struggles. So I've been dating this guy, and he has not been really supportive with my goals. And I kind of figured that I kind of use him in a sense to pretty much be my roommate because I'm like not comfortable with looking for a new roommate. But the relationship has made me like super depressed, and that now is affecting like my schoolwork. Is like making me physically sick, um, and things of that nature. So we are split up, but if we do get back together, it's because I need his support.
Mm. Okay. Okay, I definitely could understand. We've all have had toxic relationships. We all have been in situations where the person holds so much power over us that we let our emotions get the best of us. I asked you about your relationship first because your instructor actually, told me that prior to, I guess, everything that's recently been going on, you were an outstanding student. But lately, you've just been performing not so well on tests, and you've been seemingly passive and even slightly depressed in class. She says you're not engaging as much. So before I like to do with my clients before I get into, what others have said, I like to ask them, what's going on with them first, because of course, we're only the outside looking in.
Hmm.
So I feel as though evaluating what are the problems and what's actually going on outside of what we see, to better help us understand and get, solutions to how we can make situations and lives better, if that makes sense to you. So let's go ahead and get into some other stuff. Let's get into some other stuff. I see here. Well, first, let's go back to the relationship. So, how long have you all, been together?
We've been together for 3 years, on and off.
Okay, okay, okay. And you did say that this relationship was somewhat toxic.
Yeah, um, it's not, it's not for me as I'm like progressing. I tried to do the Tyler Perry thing, was put it on a piece of paper and talk about the things I like and what I don't like.
Mhm.
And it's like the bad, outweigh the good. So it wasn't something that, I need other than, that extra money when it
Right,
comes to school. Because I'm just so comfortable with, having his extra finances for him to pay the rent and not pay the utilities. And I'm able to do that. But like with a lot of stress now that he's gone, the first is next tomorrow. So
right.
now I have to figure out how am I gonna pay rent, gonna pay cable, keep my internet on for school. So it's like a lot of changes that I have to think about.
Right. I definitely understand. I definitely understand. So let's move into how this problem is affecting you in other areas. You mentioned that you are basically now experiencing symptoms of depression and of even physical health problems.
Mm.
Um, you said that it's having you stressed, and you're experiencing financial grief. Let's talk about some of those things. Let's can you elaborate more on those things?
When I'm talking about those, I feel like that, I'm going through a little minor depression. And it's because of change in like my routine. Because I've been with him for 3 years. So it's like I done gotten accustomed to, chilling with him, waking up to him, having this routine where, I come home from work, he come home from work, him laying in the bed, engaging in activities, so those things is like change. Like he don't come over anymore, and it's like it kind of threw me off because I feel like that I don't have an identity outside of him,
Mhm.
because not only is he was my boyfriend, but my friends linked to him as well.
Right.
So that has caused a little issue um amongst amongst me too. So like I don't go out anymore. I really don't talk to the same people anymore
Mhm.
because I really don't have. I feel like I don't have no identity.
Mm. Okay, okay. So just to clarify, do you have friends outside of this relationship?
No, not. I have a little, but like I said, they're tied. We're all tied into a group. We've been friends. I've been with this guy for 3 years, so
Okay.
like all my people are his people.
Right. Okay.
So, since I'm not really hanging with them anymore because I'm trying to avoid him, that
Right.
result in me not really socializing with them. And
Mm.
because we were a fun relationship, we party and stuff, my friends are saying because I choose to like isolate myself that I'm boring now.
Mm. Okay. 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 So I mean, after just hearing everything and asking you questions and receiving clarification, now you did mention how you had a lot of your identity in this person. So would you say that you're experiencing self self grief, some how would you say, internal shiftiness, as far as you don't really know who you are, so it's causing your self image to lack?
Yeah, I think so. I think, that's a big thing, my self image, because I've let this person have this much power over me. It's not just finances, but how I look at myself. I feel like that when I went through a phase in my life when I got out of high school, when I became in college, now I'm a junior. I have one more year left until I
Right.
graduate. I'll be a senior next year. So with that being said, is like, I plan my life like, okay, once I graduate, I'm thinking graduation, he's going to propose to me, so I set my life around this person. So it's like almost, I want what social media got. I'm looking at
Right.
Facebook and Instagram and trying to identify their life with mine.
Mm.
And it's like, I have no other interest. Like it's nothing that I feel that's breathtaking with this person.
Right. Right. Those deep bonds, I will say, those deep bonds and those soul ties and those instant connections, those are rare. We live in a society as to where a lot of people do not have substance. So if you are lucky enough to find somebody with substance and that you actually connect with, I can definitely understand and relate and see why it's so hard to move on. And even if you do want to move on, let go of that person. So, since I've asked you questions, I got some clarification as far as like what's actually going on versus I'm looking at your file based off what other people are saying. I feel better about, what I'm saying, working with you. Not to say I felt bad, but I like to have a clear view of my client from my own perspective versus just reading pieces of paper. Because not to say that she would lie, but I, a piece of paper is a piece of paper. I'm all about, getting personable and everything of that nature. So if you don't mind, I just want to go ahead and reflect over the content that you gave me as well as the feelings that you are experiencing as well. And then we're going to go and move on to our contracting stage, if that is okay with you. That's
Okay.
fine.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we have Miss Fendi Chamberlain. She's 22, originally from Charles City, Virginia, a junior at the social work program of Virginia State University. I'm sorry, the illustrious Virginia
Yeah.
State University. um, you have been in a toxic relationship for the last 3 years now. And in those 3 years, you've kind of had this idea of setting your life around him, planning a life outside, surpassed, excuse me, graduation. You seeing on social media how they have these perfect relationships, and identify, well, want to identify with these relationship goals. But because you all are no longer on the same page, you live alone, and it seems to me that he was the breadwinner. So now you're having somewhat of financial struggle because you're there to take care of all of the financial responsibilities in your household now. Because you all ran in the same circle as far as having the same clique, you don't really go out as much. You don't have as many friends as you once had because you all had the same friends. And assuming based off of what you said, his friends became your friends. So now it's kind of just like you move more so at your own pace and at your own rate, and that's perfectly fine. But where I want to go ahead and get away from into better in working with you is moving away from that isolation, moving away from that negative self-image that you are currently developing, and moving away from feeling, depressed and physically sick and all the other negative traits that are now coming about. Do you feel like that's something you will want to do
Yeah.
moving forward?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So yes, now that we've, reflected on everything, let's go ahead and move to the contracting stage. Now, we're gonna go ahead and just go uh look over all of the problems that we've, you know, seen. And that is financial struggle, that is little support, emotional, negative emotions. I would group that all in one. Having negative self-image and isolation, and moving surpassed the life that you had in mind to what is now your reality.
Mhm.
Now, in that, what problem would you say you will want to work on with me? It's no pressure. I don't want you to feel like, you know, my opinion is whatever you feel most important in your life that you want to move past and have my assistance in doing so.
I want to be able to work on self image, like some self esteem, techniques, and also um, I want to be able to discuss a habit that I kind of picked up. Um, I've been drinking um,
Hmm.
increasingly, and um, smoke weed.
Okay.
But I
All
think
right.
that would
All
fall
right.
into my self image because I haven't been doing those things until I got depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
self image is definitely, one of those big action goals to work on. And I think that everything else would kind of like fall there.
Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and establish a goal. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds to me that everything is really based off of what you said. Everything is really based around you feeling better about yourself. You spoke on self image, self esteem techniques, habits that you've picked up. But ultimately, I feel as though these are all things that if you felt better internally, then everything on the external would be better for you. Would you agree or would you disagree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, okay. So let's go ahead. Since we, specified a problem, let's go ahead and formulate this evaluation plan. Now, as I said, it seems to me that you're having more internal struggle that's affecting the outside versus external struggle that's affecting the inside. So, well, as far as priority for you. So, I went ahead and developed an action plan. And I'm just going to suggest to you, and if you agree, we'll go ahead and have an agreement and we'll move forward. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, I named it the internal routine. Now, first, let me ask you, are you spiritual or religious?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Um,
with that being said, here's how I would want you to start this routine from start to finish. So, and this is before you check your phone, before you check your emails, before you think about life's pressures and stresses of the day. This is what you should do every morning when you wake up. So, starting with prayer, just thanking whomever you believe in for waking you up that morning. Any stress you had for yesterday, leave it up there, all of that good stuff. Then we have three options. Now, whatever works best for your schedule on that day, because I know you work and you go to school, I have three options for you. You can either participate in yoga, you can work out, or you can meditate for 30 minutes. You can do either of those things after go ahead and say a prayer. From there, I suggest that you get a journal. Do you have a journal? Do you have a notebook? Okay. If not, I would definitely get you one. But definitely invest in a journal or some sort of notebook. That way you can kind of just get everything out. Get everything out. And honestly, I do it every day. The stuff I'm telling you is stuff I do every single day. And because I've learned over the years that self-care is so important. And I don't even understand why it's not taught more. So that's the third thing. From there, now, are you aware of affirmations? Affirmations, do you enjoy those?
I enjoy those. I haven't been really, been doing much. I haven't been doing pretty much, but I do. I have used them in the past and they have helped me. I don't even know why I
Okay.
didn't think to reflect back on those.
Right, right, right. Yes, girl, they definitely work. We got to get you back on it. We got to get you back on it. And then from there, the final two things, and this is something that you pick. Do something that makes your soul happy every day. Now, it can be writing a poem, it can be singing your favorite song to the top of your lungs, it could be making your bed, it could be buying yourself flowers, it could be eating at your favorite restaurant, it could be taking a walk in the park. Something that makes you feel good for you that you don't feel pressure to do. Just something off the strength of this make me feel good and I'm gonna do it every single day. Do one thing that is just solely for you.
Okay.
Also, in that you'll find a happy place inside of you. That's the whole goal of everything. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, invest in the stress ball as well. That way, when you're not doing your internal routine and you're going throughout your day, you have something versus, drinking or smoking that you can kind of, relieve stress on. But as I was stating, all of this is to help you find your internal happy place. In going through things as you being a young adult, sometimes it will get overwhelming. Sometimes you will make mountains out of molehills. And sometimes, not to say your problems are not that bad, but it's all about finding a solution. And when you are overwhelmed and you are feeling depressed and all of these, negative things, it's hard to come to that solution. So, specifically in this internal routine, I am trying to assist you to help you find a happy place. Now, is this something that you feel like you would do? I'm going to
Yeah.
hold you accountable.
Yeah, it's absolutely something I would do. I love those ideas and those some of those things I used to do. And
Mhm.
it's like now that I've met with you, I'm reflecting back to the things like, girl, when you was the bomb before you got with him, you used to look in the mirror and have notes. Like I used to have sticky notes everywhere, to be
Yes.
like, girl, you pretty, or having that extra time. I think that I just been like out of my game. Like I just been out of my game. So I feel like, the stress ball, yeah, I can like see myself doing that so I wouldn't have to smoke or be, having that self-care day. To get me back, I do feel like, once you look good, you feel good about yourself. So having
Yes,
a self-care day
precisely.
is so amazing. My notepad, put that in.
Precisely.
Need to have that. I'm in school, so I got so much paper. So I think that would relieve me too, to write down what I'm going through so I can see it on paper. So I
Yes.
do appreciate, those steps because I needed to hear that.
Yes, I'm so happy I can help. I'm so excited to hear that you're, taking all of this in a positive way. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. We're here to assist. We're here to provide social change. Even if I'm not here, our office is open. I'm only a call away, get email away. I'm just so happy that that you're taking all of this in once again. Um, so now that you like everything that I've said thus far, let's go ahead and summarize this agreement and plan for your next meeting, which would be your final meeting. That sounds like a plan?
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So as I said, in the contracting, we're going to worry about your internal self image, self esteem, techniques, lessen the drinking and the smoking, and, move away from depression. And the ultimate goal is to find your happy place. Is that correct? Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And just to go back over the internal routine that we developed, we're going to start with a prayer. We're either going to practice yoga, working out, or meditation for 30 minutes. From there, we're going to journal. From there, we're going to recite a positive affirmation. And then from there, we're going to complete it by doing something that makes your soul happy every day while carrying your stress ball throughout the day. That way, when you are triggered, you have something to release stress on. Okay. So, for our next meeting, did you want to meet about the same time on next Monday?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be perfect.
Okay. So about 5 o'clock next Monday, 5 p.m. All right. So that concludes our contracting. Now, in our next meeting, we'll go ahead and assess as well as work on the action plan a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and wrap things up with our ending. But today, I've introduced myself, you've introduced yourself. We've explored all of the things that's going on in your life, and we've set up a contract as to where now we can work on bettering all of the various things that you are experiencing and get you to your best self. All right. So does that sound good?
That sounds great.
All right, Miss Chamberlain. Well, I will see you on next Monday at 5 o'clock sharp. I look forward on seeing you.
All right.
Hi, Miss Chamberlain. So we're back. We're back. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just wanted to check in with you before we get started on our last meeting. How have things been going for you?
It's been going really good. I've taken some of those methods and techniques that you told me, so I feel super like better. I've been doing affirmation. I was able to do some self care. I just needed to come back, and I feel like that I'm getting there, and I'm getting there.
I love that for you. I love that for you. So before we get into it, I just wanted to remind you again about our policies as far as confidentiality. As I told you on last time, anything that is said between you and I will remain strictly confidential unless you tell me that you want to harm yourself or other individuals. Is that okay with you?
That is great.
All right, all right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. First, we're gonna start by assessing in our session today. Let's go over all of the information that I've organized based off the last session. So, based off of last session in our contracting and exploring, you told me about the toxic relationship that you had been enduring for the last 3 years. Um, it left you feeling negative about yourself as far as your self-image, you isolating yourself because you all had the same friend group, so you don't go out as much. You now live alone, but because of the former boyfriend being that breadwinner, it's leaving you in somewhat of a financial struggle. But because you're now moving on and focusing more on the positive as far as having alone time to reflect and become a better you, we worked on a internal routine, something for you to go ahead and practice and work on every day so that you can become your best self. We formulated, like I said, a routine based off of you becoming your best self and your image and your self-esteem, and discussing habits that you wanted to leave behind as far as the drinking and the smoking. So how has that all been going for you as far as just applying all of the various things that we set up for you to do and complete?
It's been doing going good. I've been getting up every morning, telling myself and I'm beautiful. I've been like spending extra time looking in the mirror and making sure that I'm okay. I have been getting caught up on my work. So that's been, really good. So that has helped me also in, I don't feel I'm not just in the bed anymore. Like I'm not sluggish. I feel like that with that self empowerment that I was doing, like talking to myself and empowering myself and meditating and stress balls and all of those stuff, I don't feel that way anymore. I
That's
feel
good.
that, yeah, I feel that I've incorporated those techniques, and even in my classes, my professors has been very, welcoming. I was kind of open with them and letting them know that, I was struggling a little bit. So I've been setting things out in my day to plan my day, and I've been catching up on all my work. Thankfully, my professors was opening my assignments back up so that I would be able to catch them up. And I mean, I'm 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 doing well.
That's good. I'm so happy to hear that because I just don't want you to think that I'm doing my job for just a paycheck. I in all of my clients, because I work with women, I see pieces of myself in everyone I work with, So I really prioritize you guys. I really want the best for you all. I believe that every woman should experience self-love and real self-esteem and real happiness and independence and things of that nature. I want it all for us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so glad to hear that you've been actually applying the routine that we made up. And I just can't even wait to hear, like in the future, if we run into each other or anything, how you're doing even better than today. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. So let's just go ahead and formulate this assessment together. Just based off of what you said, things have been better all the way around. You're getting up every morning. You're looking in the mirror longer, telling yourself you're beautiful because you are. You're no longer sluggish, tired, or feeling depressed. You feel more of a sense of empowerment, actually. You're more open with your professors, and luckily they were understanding enough to let you catch up in school, reopen assignments and things of that nature. So all in all, Fendi's life has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love to see it. I love to see it. So, with all of that, let's go ahead and move on to the working sector. And then from there, we're going to be wrapping up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, with all of that, so we already generated our action steps as far as developing the routine. But was there anything else that you wanted to work on outside of that? Or did you want to pinpoint your self image or your self esteem? How did you want to go about that?
Well, Ben, I wanted to pinpoint and also do like some planning as well. You know, with my finances, I know that they're kind of tight. Well, I know that they are tight.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to kind of um plan, like try to work on like planning so
Mm-hmm.
that I would be able to share my time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that, you know, I think that with my finances, I could have worked more. Like I could have worked more at
Mm-hmm.
my job, and where
Mm-hmm.
I could have been saving money instead of, you know, partying, drinking, or smoking, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I didn't kind of like plan, so I need help with like planning my schedule. So that way,
Okay, okay. And I will like to say I commend you on taking responsibility and accountability in your actions. That's very woman-like. Not too many people, even if they're 35 years old, they don't like to take responsibility for their actions. So kudos to you for even, you know what I'm saying, identify where your problems are or where you're lacking and wanting to improve. That's a really big step, and I'm really happy that you acknowledge that. But that's fine. That's definitely fine. So I guess our action step, let's say our action step is establishing a budget for yourself over the course of, when do you get paid? Every week or every 2 weeks?
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay, so let's set up for our action plan a bi-weekly budget. Let's set up a bi-weekly budget. And this is something I do for myself as well. So don't think I'm just, telling you what I think is best. This is something I do in my real life because we all got bills and we all got responsibilities and we all need to keep ourselves very much afloat. So, would you agree though that setting up a bi-weekly budget would be good for you?
Yeah,
Cool. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And so let's just go ahead and evaluate this action step. So in this bi-weekly budget, I would like for you to focus on your bills, um, your toiletries. Um, let's see. What else would you say that you need to spend money on every 2 weeks?
that's it. On my car insurance, my parents still kind of take care of that. So I just have my rent and my cable bill,
Hmm.
like household items and other things
Hmm.
like that.
So bills, toiletries. Would you
Mhm.
go ahead and budget like your food allowance or like any like a allowance that you give yourself every 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's go ahead and do an allowance and that 2 weeks as well. And does that cover everything? Because bills, I just put bills in one big category. And then we have your toiletries and then household items that you need, and then your allowance that you give yourself. Does that sound like everything?
hmm
Okay, cool. So with that, we've gone ahead and established that and evaluated it. Um, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and review and go ahead and wrap this up soon. So you want to now work more so as far as for your action step, you want to work more on financial planning just to keep yourself more afloat, not as stressed, not as overwhelmed with everything that you have going on, being that you do work and you are in school. So, in that, I have put here in my notes as well that you're taking that responsibility and the accountability and wanting to do this. And I commend you so much. That is so good, especially for your age. So the action plan is to create a bi-weekly budget. And in that bi-weekly budget, it'll focus on what bills you have for those 2 weeks, the toiletries and the household items that you may need to get, and setting aside an allowance for yourself as far as food or any miscellaneous purchase that you need to make, gas money, whatever the case may be. So does that sound like a good plan?
That does sound like a great plan.
Okay, cool. So I'm happy that we went ahead and reviewed. Um, I would just like to advise you to say don't be so hard on yourself. Not with the action plan and not with the internal routine we made in the assessing stage. We're all imperfect beings. Yes, every day try to be better than you were yesterday, but don't beat yourself up or make yourself feel like such a bad person if you forget to do one thing one day. You know what I'm saying? Just try the next day. I feel like every day is a blessing. I feel like every day is a new opportunity to better yourself and things of that nature. So that's really all the advice I have for you. But I really feel, Miss Chamberlain, that you are off to a great start. I feel as like your energy has even shifted. You're smiling more. You got your lip gloss popping today. I think everything is a-okay. I'm really happy for you and I'm really proud of you. I see so much progress. So if you don't mind, we're gonna move into our ending stage and we're gonna, see you later. Never goodbyes, always see you later. So let's just go ahead and go over everything that we've discussed and wrap it up. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds great.
All right. So, as you know, we've had stages in, our last session and this session. I started off with the introduction. We introduced each other, got to know each other a little bit better. I explored all of the various factors in your life. I'm not even going to call them problems because everything at the end of the day, once it's solved, it's just a factor. It's just an experience that you had that made you a stronger individual.
Mhm.
We went over everything like that. We then contracted. We contracted as far as, things that you wanted to work on in your personal life, whether it was internal, as far as your self image and your self worth and everything like that, or external, as far as your financial situation. Then we went ahead and, assessed how things have been going since the last thing we've met. Like I told you, everything, seems to be better. Your energy is better. You know what I'm saying? Your aura is even more popping and everything like that. Then we set up a plan of action as far as the external thing that you wanted to work on. Um, and then from there, everything has been everything. We got the internal routine and we got the bi-weekly budget. You've agreed that everything had worked before, so why not try to make it work again? And yeah, so that was the working stage, and now we are at our final goodbye stage. Now, do you have any questions for me, Miss Chamberlain? Any comments, concerns, anything of that nature?
No, I want to send my gratitude to you. Thank you so much for assisting with me. I am so happy that the professor referred me and was able to assist me with giving you some background information. So I was able to talk because it was so much. So I was happy that we were able to use this platform to assist me. I feel so much better. And I think that as we enter different phases in our lives, I call them seasons too. Different
Yes.
seasons comes out. It brings a different making. So I feel like this is my season for me. This is my season to love me, to be independent and to focus on me, you know. So I'm happy with my progress. Again, thank you so much for assisting me. I'm so happy. I will
Yes.
refer all my friends to this program because I feel good.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. And yes, You have made so much progress. I'm so happy to see you smiling more and just, looking like you're doing better. You can always really tell if somebody's lying or not. It's all in the energy. I'm really big on energy. I'm really big on auras, body language, all of that. So I'm happy that you're happy. I'm happy that, you were referred to me. I'm happy that you gave me a chance and didn't, shut me out. Um, so I would just like to extend my gratitude as well for you allowing me in your life, in your business. But like I mentioned before, both times, everything is strictly confidential. You will not have to worry about ever hearing any of your business that we discuss on the street, in the office, at school. None of that. So, but if that is everything, thank you again, Miss Chamberlain. It was a pleasure meeting you. I wish you nothing but success and happiness in the rest of your life. And yes,
Thank you so much.
you have a great day.
You too. Um,